My name is Bill Hall. Welcome to this month's Cedar Hills Ready education meeting. Tonight, we're going to be talking about getting yourself and your family ready for a disaster that takes you out of your home and disrupts the normal flow of your life. We're going to focus tonight on evacuation preparedness, which could apply to all kinds of disasters: floods, earthquakes, ice storms, fire. Our program tonight is a workshop. Now's the best time to start putting together an emergency plan, and that's why we made this an interactive session. Don't want to preach, but if you haven't already done so, please get yourself a pen or pencil. Be sure to download and print the worksheet that we've created for the meeting. Now, we're going to be pausing throughout the program to give you time to fill in this worksheet. Now, this is our Cedar Hills Ready team. Barbara Bracken is the Tualatin Ready program manager, and she's our speaker tonight. She's a longtime leader of the Tualatin Ready program as a member of Tualatin CERT and has been working on preparedness for many, many years. So I'm going to thank our leadership team here for helping to put tonight's program together. Okay, tonight's program. Now, last month we listened to the Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue team talk to us about their readiness and evacuation protocols in the event of a wildfire. And we think that that process works in pretty much any kind of a disaster that we experience in the Pacific Northwest. Fire, earthquake, flood, wind, ice storm. We're going to structure tonight's discussion around their ready, set, and go protocol in the case of a sudden disaster. We're going to focus on three basic topics. Number one, if you must evacuate or abandon your house because of one of these disasters, where do you plan to go and how will you get there? Number two, what is your plan for communication with those who depend on you and upon whom you depend if disaster hits? And what if regular communication methods just aren't working? What is your plan? Let's start that tonight. And number three, what are you going to take with you? Now, we're not going to go through the go bags for supplies again, as we covered that in detail in our March meeting, but we will focus on a checklist of personal documents that you're going to need in order to continue functioning if normal life has fallen apart and you don't have access to your normal resources like home office and personal files. But during this program, you're going to be filling out the worksheet, and we hope that you've printed it out and are ready to go, fully engaged. Readiness is our goal at Cedar Hills Ready, and it's appropriate that we start tonight with level one, get ready, as our focus. Barbara, the house is yours.
Thanks, Bill. What would you do if you were given 5 minutes to evacuate your home? What are your first thoughts if you receive a go now alert? Fire just jumped the highway and the wind changed direction. Or maybe you smell gas in your home, or your world is shaking. Let's get started. The following verbiage is directly from the Oregon Fire Evacuation Protocols, and we feel it is pertinent for several of our possible risk situations, such as sudden weather event, earthquake, fires. Level one, it's defined as be aware of danger that exists in your area. Monitor emergency services websites and local media outlets for information. This is the time for preparation and precautionary movement of persons with special needs, mobile property, and pets. If conditions worsen, emergency service personnel may contact you via an emergency notification system. Get ready with these steps in case conditions get worse. I think it's really a great idea to early on identify who is in charge of what. Remember in March, we talked about the importance of updating go bags for each person and pet every 6 months. Our firefighters recommend review and practice family plan and escape routes from each room, and review fire extinguisher use and your utility shutoffs with all responsible home members. Know where you'll go and routes to evacuation sites, family, or friends. Insurance companies recommend to photo or video each room, closets, drawers, etc. Don't forget your garage and sheds. TVFNR suggests do this. Do not turn off your phone. Turn your phone to the silent setting. Leave it on. Remember, charge all your electronics, your cell phones, your ham radio, computers, chargers, replace your flashlight batteries. Practice a group text. More about this later. Update all your contact information, home, work, and cell phone numbers, email addresses. Check with the Centers for Disease Control, better known as the CDC, and update any emergency plans due to coronavirus. Some things that you can do now outside to prepare your home. Move your barbecue and any flammables away from your home. Connect the garden hose to a water spigot. Leave your exterior lights on. Put a ladder outside for firefighters to use. A little bit about communication. It is going to be the key to our survival and resilience. First, if you've not yet done so, please register for publicalerts.org. This provides critical alerts only, such as storms, earthquake, fires. It is not about our traffic. Counties have their own local alert systems, so it's important that you know which county you're in. You can register multiple phone numbers and addresses of your home, work, school, and family members. Shake Alert is a new app, and the URL is listed there on the slide. You must enable emergency alerts on your smartphone to get this earthquake information. It's designed to send a 30 to 60 second warning alert of an earthquake greater than 4.5 based on your specific location. It allows you to take critical first precautions, drop, cover, hold, and this can help to minimize serious injury. Listen to your emergency radios. Here locally, 1190 and 1610, both AM channels. 91.5 FM. You might want to get a NOAA weather radio. Check in with Washington County Facebook. They also included or offer a Spanish version. TVFR suggests subscribe to Notify Me with your email on www.tvfr. Creating an emergency communication plan is critical. With whom and how you are going to communicate with your important people. In a moment, we'll pause so you can answer these questions to identify and fill out your home. Who do I depend on? Who depends on me? What systems can I depend on? How will I communicate with my important people? Karen?
Thank you, Barbara. So pull out your worksheet, and creating a plan can be really a quick process once you get started. Even a few minutes can make a difference. We're going to take a couple of minutes to give you a start in filling out the top portion of section A of your worksheet. You can see that outlined with the gold box there. Think about and jot down the answers to these questions. Who do I depend on? And who depends on me?
You and me, babe.
If I live alone, who's going to check on me? Do any of my important people have special needs? And also, is there a neighbor that you should be checking on? So we'll pause for just a few minutes, and you can write the answers into the worksheet.
By special needs, I assume you mean like wheelchairs, not beer.
Okay, let's continue. How will you contact your important people? Here's the deal. We very well may lose cell phone use for 2 to 3 days. Emergency responders may take over the cell phone communication system. They have the ability to do that. Cell towers may burn, be out of commission, or fall down. Out-of-town calls might be more successful. Texting is better yet than calling. It's a different bandwidth. Create a group text of your important people so that everyone receives up-to-date information at the same time. You may want to test or practice this. Landlines. A cordless landline phone will not work during a power outage. An older phone that plugs into the wall may work if you have electricity. Consider walkie-talkies, also known as FRS radios, for family and neighborhood connections. And consider training for or renewing a ham license. You can get a handheld ham radio for only about $40. Ham classes are available online at hamstudy.org. If you have a ham license, you can join BERT, Beaverton Emergency Radio Team. They practice every Monday evening. And for fun, you can check out the hams near you by going to the website there listed, tetrans.com. See the map on the right? If you live or work in downtown Portland, go to www.portlandoregon.gov/beacon. It stands for Basic Earthquake Emergency Communication Node. They have set up ham operators and equipment located around downtown. Another great source to connect with is Red Cross for reunification. If you have computer access, check your loved one's social media pages like Facebook or Twitter. Your friends may have already gone in online to tell their story. Send an email. Call friends and relatives who may have already been in contact with your loved one. Use the Red Cross Safe and Well website listed there to let loved ones know you are okay after a disaster. In your plan, identify an out-of-state contact to notify of your status. For instance, if Dick calls, tell him I'm home and I'm okay, or I'm downtown and I'm going to begin to work my way home. Practice with your out-of-state contact. Ideally, your out-of-state contact is not living in Oregon, Washington, or California, as these states will most likely be affected in a West Coast earthquake. Be sure to let your contact know what numbers will be calling or texting in an emergency. All members of the household should carry the emergency contact information in their wallets and their emergency go bags. Talk about, write down, and share your family plan. If you live alone, identify 2 people to check on you after a disaster. Tell them of any special needs that you may have and where you keep your emergency supplies. Disabled people may have additional needs. Additional tips are in our handouts or attachments and on a variety of websites. Seniors, disabled, special needs, pets, and kids. We've got a lot of information available to you. Karen?
All right. So it's time to start filling out the bottom part of the worksheet in section A. And so let's take out your worksheet and think about and jot down the answers to these questions. How will I contact my important people? And we have a checklist there, so making it very easy for you to do that.
I noticed tennis shoe network is not on that list.
That would be in here. Who is my primary out-of-state contact? And preferably this would be somebody who's not along the West Coast, right? That's going to be tough for Bill and I because all our relatives are here on the West Coast. And then the rest of this section will be just a quick check boxes and yes and no answers. Oh, and I forgot, at the very bottom it says, who do I need to share this information with? I think that you could refer to who do I depend on, or who depends on me, for sure, in that list. Okay, Barbara.
Next, let's focus a little more on evacuation plans. What are my evacuation routes? Out of your home, like in case of a fire in your home or a gas leak, or maybe it's just unsafe to stay in. Establish a family meeting place that's familiar and easy to find. It could be as simple as the lamp post across the street or a neighbor's porch. When you think about escape exits from your home, how will family members get out of each room? Make sure that there is nothing that could fall or block an exit. Talk about, map, and practice escape exits from every room. Do a fire drill practicing how to get out and where to meet. In the case of an earthquake, practice drop, cover, and hold. Take a home tour and identify where you would practice and have to do drop, cover, hold in each room. Ask yourself, where will my family and I go? A shelter, family, or friends? Remember, hotels and motels will likely be full. Think about, where are my evacuation routes? From home and the places that you most frequent. Work, school, volunteer locations, even vacation spots. Next time you go to work or drop your kids off at school, count the bridges and underpasses all along the way. They may not survive a quake or be blocked by fire. The first part of any evacuation is to make sure you and your family are safe. That means you'll need to find your family members. Most people identify their first meeting place near their home, where their supplies and people are located, unless it's too dangerous to gather there. Have a backup location if your home is not a safe place to meet. A good neighborhood meeting place might be a church or the flagpole near your nearest public school. These locations often have large covered areas. Next, identify 2 alternative routes getting to home or where your backup location from common places. But what if it's not safe to go back to your home? Think about where you can stay out of town or out of state. Again, maybe family or friends. Think about which direction you can head if you need to evacuate. Identify 2 alternative routes getting to your shelter, family, or friends away from home. Karen, what's next on our worksheet?
Section B. Now, at some later point, I hope that you guys will get yourself a map and attach it to this, or whatever family plan you have, where you're showing the routes that Barbara was talking about. So in section B of the worksheet, you have the opportunity to think through where you're going to go in an evacuation, depending on what the scenario is. So think about getting home. Usually people go home first. That's a good spot to congregate, assuming that it's safe. And consider where to go if your home isn't safe. You'll also want to answer the questions about, where does my family regularly spend time? Where do you travel to? Because at some point after this meeting, you'll want to learn about the evacuation plans of these locations, and also come up with 2 alternative routes home from these locations. That's in case you were caught there in the middle of a disaster. We'll pause a few minutes to give you a chance to fill in section B of the form.
Should we go ahead and move along? So now you have some plans. Congratulations. Remember, these plans will need to be updated periodically. Now let's talk about different evacuation levels and how they progress. Each of these levels of evacuation suggestions build on the previous one. So ask yourself, what would I need to take with me? If you're getting out of the house, obviously your people, pets, phone, go bags, and critical documents. Next step, if you're needing to leave the neighborhood, you might want your laptop, medications, maps. Remember, you probably will not have cell service, which means you have no GPS. If you need to leave town or state, you're going to need to have extra clothes and food. For go bags and supplies for immediate survival, see the Cedar Hills Ready March video presentation. You'll see the link there on the slide. I recommend talk about and designate who is responsible for what. Go bags, pets, shutting off utilities, closing up your home, critical documents, communication. As you prepare your plan, tailor your plan and supplies to your specific daily living needs and responsibilities. Keep these things under consideration. Different ages of and members of your home, responsibilities for assisting others, your frequent locations, dietary needs, medical needs, including prescriptions and equipment, disabilities or access and functional needs, including devices and equipment, different languages spoken, cultural and religious considerations, pets or service animals, households with school-age children. Discuss your needs and responsibilities and how people in your network can assist each other with communication, care of children, your business, pets, or specific needs. Again, level 2. This verbiage is directly from the state of Oregon. At this level, you must prepare to leave at a moment's notice. This level indicates there is a significant danger in your area, and you should either voluntarily relocate to a shelter or family and friends outside of the affected area, or if you're choosing to remain, be ready to evacuate at a moment's notice. Residents may have time to gather necessary items, but doing so is at your own risk. It may be the only notice given. Emergency services cannot guarantee that they will be able to notify you if conditions rapidly deteriorate. Area media services will be asked to broadcast periodic updates. If you have organized your supplies for the unique needs of yourself and each member of your family, then level 2 is the time to put that plan into action. What do I bring? If immediate evacuation is required, remember, people and pets. Remember the movie Home Alone? Your personal computer, prescriptions, COVID-19 masks, eyeglasses, hearing aids, personal documents, pictures of keepsakes that can't be replaced, your phone and chargers, important numbers, and your ham radio, credit card or bank cards, and some cash. At this level 2, it is okay and wise to leave early. Roads will quickly become jammed. Get to your safe location as soon as possible. Now is the time to put go bags into your car, top off the gas tank, back your car into the driveway, close the windows, and keep the car keys with you. Locate your pets, check on those neighbors that you need to. Shut your windows and doors, but leave them unlocked. Leave your lights on, but shut off your pilot lights, your air conditioner. Turn off your main gas line. This will help to avoid fires and explosions. Level 3, leave immediately. Danger to your area is current or imminent, and you should evacuate immediately. If you choose to ignore this advisement, understand emergency services may not be available to assist you further. Do not delay leaving to gather any belongings or make efforts to protect your home. Remember scenes of Hurricane Ida? Some residents ignored advice or waited, and first responders could not get back to them. Remember, who depends on you and who do you depend on? Talk about, write down, and share your family plan. There are a variety of forms available. Search online for emergency preparedness/family plan. Share your plan with your out-of-state contact, your sitters, other adult children, your parents. Who else needs to know? Learn the emergency plans for your workplace, school, your kids' school, caretakers, your adult living situation. Special needs people have extra steps that need to be communicated. We're going to shift direction now and talk about the important documents that you'll need to take if you evacuate. Please now take a look at page 2 of your worksheet. There's a checklist that you can use to make sure that you have the information and documents you will need during an evacuation. Collecting, copying, and storing your important information now could help you avoid problems and recover faster after a disaster. We'll talk about 3 basic categories of important documents and records: personal files, medical records, financial and legal records.
Hi everyone, it's Karen. If you're enjoying this video and would like to continue learning about emergency documentation and what you need to put together, please continue to part 2. Thank you.